Hello, good evening and welcome to News Hour. My name is Maria Mustuma. Coming up in this edition, NACOVAX says a decision was made not to administer the remaining doses of vaccines beyond their expiration dates, while a new consignment is on the way. Two young Sierra Leoneans, Sir Eric Mbayo and Deborah Sisse from Kono, participate in the United Nations International Youth Diplomacy Conference IYDC 2021 held in Accra, Ghana. And members of the Waste Collection Association call on residents in Freetown to desist from indiscriminately throwing garbage into drainages. Well, these and many more line up in this edition of the news with me. But first, let's have a coronavirus preventive message.
You see where them people here wear the mask them fine? Well, now so you say for wear your mask. Cover your nose and your mouth all time where you dey near other person.
Do ensure to wear your face mask and stay safe. Following reports from BBC indicating that a total of 450 COVID vaccine doses have been destroyed in 9 African countries, including Sierra Leone. Quoting a World Health Organization official, NACOVAX says the country has not yet destroyed theirs, but a decision was made not to administer the remaining doses once NACOVAX had known about their expiration period. Ibrahim Samura takes up the story.
Sierra Leone, like other COVID-hit countries, received 42,000 doses of Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine from the EU on 13th March 2021 to expire on 13th April and with a shelf life of less than a month. NACOVAX as a response immediately operationalized the rollout of the jabs once authorities from the Health Ministry and NACOVAX knew that the expiration period would kick in the following month. Later, a decision was arrived at not to administer the remaining 14,000. Let it be made clear that Sierra Leone does not destroy vaccines just like that, says Solomon Jamiru, NACOVAX spokesperson.
Sierra Leone is named amongst 9 countries. So you have Sierra Leone, Liberia, Guinea, and the Gambia in West Africa. Then you have DRC, Namibia, and another country. So we wanted our people to understand Sierra Leone is not in the business of destroying vaccines for the sake of destroying vaccination. But if any vaccine comes and it is close to expiration period, once the expiration period kicks in, we will not be in a position to administer because those are life-saving vaccines. Also, the process would be that they will call up for those vaccines to a central store, and then the decision will be taken as to when to destroy them.
Malawi was the first African country to publicly destroy expired AstraZeneca vaccine. It could be also noted that under the COVAX scheme, the country received a donation of 96,000 doses of Oxford AstraZeneca from the COVAX scheme, but sources from NACOVAX say those 96,000 doses have been successfully utilized before their expiring on the 16th July. This WHO attributed to the consequence of delays in vaccine shipments to Africa and the time the vaccines are shipped when they were very close to expiration. There was still confusion around the expiration dates. The expiring issue is likely to be responsible for a majority of the public is still hesitating to take the COVID vaccines, and there is need for more public education. Ibrahim Samura, Freetown.
Sir Eric Mbayo and Deborah Sisse from Kono District have left the shores of Sierra Leone to participate in this year's United Nations International Youth Diplomacy Conference, IYDC 2021, held in Accra, Ghana. They were supported by Koidu Limited as part of its corporate social responsibility. Dauda Gamara sent in this report from Kono.
The United Nations International Youth Diplomacy Conference, among other things, will discuss pertinent issues of global interest such as education, social projects, community development, leadership skills, and networking among participants. Sir Eik Bayo and Deborah Sisi from Kono District would form part of the 13-man delegation that will be representing the country in this year's United Nations International Youth Diplomacy Conference. According to Head of Corporate Affairs, Koidu Limited, Ibrahim Toure, the support was born out of the company's corporate social responsibility in empowering and creating opportunities for young people in Kono districts.
From them, we are not putting a lot of burden on them. We're expecting them to transfer those skills that they learned in Ghana to those that haven't got the opportunity to go. We want them to share a lot of knowledge, understanding on the conference or the convention to their fellow young people in Kono.
The participants, Sir Eik Bayo and Deborah Sise, said they will take advantage of the opportunity given to them by Koidu Limited, noting the conference will help broaden their knowledge and create new networks with youth from other countries.
And then settle everything we go for deal with the conference business. Of course, the IYDC conference...
Koidu Limited provided everything for us, and the conference is a United Nations model that brings together youth around Africa to discuss issues affecting young people in the continent.
Issues and where they affect we as Africans. So we can go there every year for let we see how best to go before come up with resolutions.
Thank you to Koidu Limited.
I want to thank Koidu Limited for giving us the opportunity to participate in this year's International Youth Diplomacy Conference 2021, and it will help to build my capacity. Their participation will serve as a motivation to other youth and help in changing the narrative about Sahelian youth.
Members of the Waste Collection Association have called on residents in Freetown to desist from indiscriminately throwing garbages into drainages, as this is negatively impacting their effort to ensure Freetown is ranked among the cleanest cities in Africa. The medical during a cleaning exercise they organized in the east and western parts of the city. Emmanuel Samura has more.
These women are those who normally come out to clean the streets of Freetown, even before the crow of the cock in the morning, while the men are those who collect garbage from homes. They are out in numbers for people to really see the nature of the job they do daily. They even clean using their bare hands to take plastic out of drainages, which is a daily practice for them because of the lack of equipment.
The glove or equipment they supply us is not strong and gets oiled easily. For the gloves, we only use them for a week, and after which we have to discard them. As for me, I taught my team how to make a local durable rake, which we use now.
And they make that strong one day. Even with the effort they usually make cleaning dirt that they do not generate, yet the filth in the streets of Freetown are linked to them as not efficient and effective in discharging their duties.
Outcry we are seeing in social media, that residents in Freetown said Freetown is not. So we really want to debunk that particular statement, that is actually not true, because particular groups that we are seeing, they are working on a daily basis.
Even with the formulation of the door-to-door garbage collection concept devised by the Freetown City Council, Freetonians living in the hills are still fond of indiscriminately throwing domestic waste into drainages, especially during the rains, which makes it a major challenge for them.
Just when they come, so we see them. Saturday, we not left. That's time for Tondo Tina Gota.
challenge we have more is during the rainy season. Whenever there is a heavy downpour, people throw dirt into drainages, and this garbage normally end up in the streets, which makes our work more difficult.
So we see the turn all rain come, they scatter on the streets. So pass will come back. So they will walk 3 times a day.
Dispatch of the job, which has huge health consequences, they have stayed for months not receiving their dues.
So dear, we are citizens, people there in this country want to know how to do this work, but we don't ready for do this.
We are working and are also citizens, and there are people who would never do such jobs. What we have chosen to do is we are kindly asking for our salaries, as we have families to feed and care for.
Dear, make them pay we go picking and they go school, then they get for eat.
Rag pickers and waste collectors pleaded with inhabitants of the municipality to desist from throwing garbage into drainages, and also called on government and development partners to improve in their conditions of service, which will motivate them to do more. Emmanuel Samoa, SLC Freetown.
The Director General, National Disaster Management Agency, Lieutenant General retired Prime Sise, has assured windstorm victims in Kailaun, Kenema, and Pujong district about government's determination to counter with community awareness on mitigation and risk management. He was speaking during the response intervention in 11 communities in 3 districts. Here is a report presented by Harold Williams.
A population in excess of 1,300 households and 166 houses benefited from the latest disaster relief from the National Disaster Management Agency. A total of 332 bags of rice, 890 bundles of zinc, roofing sheets, 150 cartons of roofing nails, Veronica buckets, prayer mats, cooking oil, and more were distributed. The Director General, National Disaster Management Agency, Lieutenant General retired Brahma Sise, cited the President's manifesto highlighting plans for a distinct entity to handle the preparedness and management of disaster recovery and the immediate response to disaster victims. He called on the 11 communities affected to embark on tree planting and learn to protect their community by avoiding deforestation and charcoal burning for a safer environment.
Some of them don't know the dangers of what they actually do. Cutting of trees very close to their houses, cutting of trees around village settings, being careless about fires, sending underage children to start fires like for cooking because of laziness on the part of the parents. So you need to engage them so that they know if you leave the trees will be able to stop some of the wind that will be blowing, and it will not take away their roof, especially with the windstorm disasters we have had over this period.
Local chiefdom leaders in Kailaun, Kenema, and Pujehun districts appreciated the government for seeking the interest of their people, describing the president as a philanthropist. Heads of schools in Kailaun, Kenema, and Pujehun districts described the intervention by government through NDMA as developmental, especially when the government has prioritized education. The NDMA says unplanned urbanization and settlement clustered along hills, waterways, floodplains, deforestation, and other human activities on the environment must be curbed. Full involvement of communities taking the leadership in discussing climate change and factors posing threats to the environment will definitely minimize disaster. In establishing the NDMA, it was acknowledged by President Julius Maada Bio that the primary responsibility of the state for disaster risk reduction measures is to align strategies with sub-regional and multilateral policies on disaster management and the use of information and communication technology innovations.
Jela University has held a 3-day retreat in Bo on restructuring the university's programs. This comes weeks after Jela University got a new caretaker Vice Chancellor and Principal to manage the affairs of the university. Soriba Samura reports.
The discussions include regionalization of departments, programs, courses and related matters within schools to foster synergies amongst the schools in Chala University. Because Chala University had lost opportunities, the current dispensation believes the university could tap into opportunities such as teaching, research and extension facilities to strengthen the university. The retreat, which comprised deans of school, senior administrative officers and leadership of the university, was also tailored to make recommendations for requirements including personnel and infrastructure, which left the incoming acting vice chancellor and principal of Chala University, Professor Andrew Bemba, upbeat about the outcome.
This retreat is what we have been doing and how best we can take the university to 21st century demands.
Chala University over time was run on a non-business state, which for some was a key component in so much as the university is a research and educational-based entity. Business should also be incorporated into the operations of Chala University. Some others hold as a view. Key among the recommendations put forward by participants was that schools in Chala University come up with professional courses or trainings at undergraduate and postgraduate levels targeted towards societal needs. Soriba Samura, reporting from Bo.
President Julius Maada Bio has decorated 2 colonels who were promoted to the rank of brigadier generals. Colonel Joseph Kaimampo and Colonel Saiti Jen Kano have served the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces for decades. Amosiri reports.
Brigadier General Sahid Tijan Kano was commissioned into the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces as an officer cadet in September 1993. He has since held several command and staff appointments, which include Commanding Officer, Forces Renaissance Unit, Staff Officer Grade 1 Directorate of Peacekeeping at the Ministry of Defense, Chief Instructor, Hunting Academy and Commandant Armed Forces Training Center, Benguima Barracks. Like his comrade, Brigadier General Joseph S. Kamapo was also commissioned into the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces as officer cadet in 1993 following a successful cadet training at the prestigious Nigeria Defense Academy in Kaduna, Federal Republic of Nigeria. General Kamapo has since held several appointments ranging from platoon commander to Director of Defense Personnel at the Ministry of Defense, Director, Department of Peacekeeping Operations, also at the Ministry of Defense Commanding Officer, the Armed Forces Personnel Center, and currently Assistant Chief of Defense Staff, Personnel and Military Secretary. Brigadier Joseph Kaimapo commended President Julius Maada Bio as the Commander-in-Chief of the Air Staff, as their career path has been a long and turbulent journey, full of ups and downs, dark and difficult moments, selfless service to the green, white and blue stripes. In spite of the gloomy circumstances, they were able to navigate to be able to arrive where they are. On the flip side, he said it was not rough and rugged all the way, adding that they had great opportunities which were explored to their advantage.
We developed ourselves both in our military courses and in academia. My colleague seated here, Brigadier General S.T. Kano, holds a master's degree in strategic studies and is a registered barrister and solicitor. On my part, I'm also a proud holder of a master's degree in peace and development studies and a decorated fellow of the National Defense College, the foremost national military institution in Nigeria. We are very much gratified by this singular honor to decorate us in our new rank. Sir, you made in a remark, you said you are looking forward to us leadership. I want to assure you that we will do everything within the confines of the Constitution and the Republic of Sierra Leone and the Act to live up to your expectation as our President and Commander-in-Chief. This promotion is certainly going to rejuvenate our determination to effectively and responsibly discharge our duties towards achieving national security and development.
President Julius Maada Bio described the ceremony for the two generals as history-making event, as it is an aspiration for every military officer to attain such position. Leadership, the president disclosed, is key, as any officer is a leader, noting that they have also worked hard to reach thus far.
Now brigadiers to the exclusive club of generals. It's the aspiration of every officer to get to at least this position, and you truly deserve the promotion and the honor that has been given to you. But with the honor and responsibility, we look up to you for a lot of things too. Leadership is one. You are leaders. The fact that you've gotten here, and you are trained to be leaders. Officers are leaders at all times. But beyond that, there is a call, a national call, for us to make Sierra Leone the best. Only we, Sierra Leoneans, can do it. As we try to professionalize the military, you see some of us are restrained from intervening all the time. But it is a constituency I can't avoid, because the only constituency I know. I've not been in the civil service, I've not been anywhere else. I've of course had sojourns in the academia, but this is where I was professionally trained to be a military officer.
Both brigadier generals have been honored and awarded in different peacekeeping operations. SABC TV News are in Freetown. Howard Mosiru reporting.
Now, ahead of the Eid al-Adha celebration, President Julius Maada Bio and wife, First Lady Fatima Bio, have provided over 500 sacrificial lambs, food, cash to Muslims across the country. I witnessed the distribution at State Lodge and put this report together.
Eid Mubarak Muslimati.
Eid al-Adha is a festival celebrated among Muslims all over the world, in remembrance of the sacrifice that Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, made out of his strong faith in Allah. Ibrahim, peace be upon him, showed a willingness to sacrifice his son, Prophet Ismail, peace be upon him, but his son was replaced with a lamb by Allah. Allah was so pleased with Ibrahim's sallallahu alaihi wasallam submission to him that he made this demonstration of sacrifice and faith a permanent part of a Muslim's life. Hence, every year on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, on the month of Hajj, Muslims all over the world celebrate Eid al-Adha. And on this day, Muslims slaughter a lamb, sheep, goat, or a camel to honor the sacrifice of Ibrahim sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Muslims in Sierra Leone have also been part of this practice for ages. The reason the First Lady, with support from her husband, decided to support the Islamic scholars to be able to perform this ritual, which is an integral part of Islam.
Now, one of the biggest achievements of this country is the faith over religion. They live together. So I'm glad, was able to make be able to do this every year. Now, obligation for some of we will afford or share this. So the fast not today start. Now people they normally want to make difference. Now the same God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, now all the praise to. And most of the things that were inside the Bible back, it happened and it is inside the Quran. So we as a country, we fortunately we can gather, we know they ask, we're not Muslim, we're not Christian.
Speaking on behalf of colleague scholars, Chief Imam Madingo Central Mosque, Sheikh Fumba Suarez, said the day was important for two reasons. First, during Eid al-Adha, Muslims remember the spirit of Prophet Abraham, peace be upon him, and how he was willing to sacrifice the person he loved the most, his son. because it was Allah's command which he had to obey no matter what.
Some people misconstrue. They feel say now we go make a come now in for slaughter. But this slaughtering now incumbent obligation upon everybody we can afford that. Therefore, on behalf of the imams, the religious leaders them, we want to thank His Excellency. We want to thank the state for member the Muslim community for helping with the poorer sector for now we're able to join the world for see every houses then gladly tomorrow with this sacrificial meat.
First Lady Fatima Bio applauded her husband for supporting the Muslim community despite being a Christian, noting that such an act has clearly demonstrated that Sierra Leone is the best country in terms of religious tolerance.
I want to say thank you to His Excellency, the President, because for a woman, anything way you want to do, if your man not there with you, it's not possible. And this is an exercise where from where His Excellency don't come, we start small, and then you see him say we for the Guam and help as many people as possible. Yeah, actually, last year, na Freetown no more we stop. But this year we tell God thank you. We don't yesterday, then don't go do the presentation na Bo, then don't go do an Akono, and then don't go do an Akenima. So today na the presentation for Freetown, and we also want to let you know, we not only say, Lord, we give this time only the shipment. So we see and fit say, you know, through you again, we able to get all things there we want to present to the Muslim Ummah. They give them all of this. Imam, they take two parts of this for Kergona in mosque, including the ship, and then whatever little way you put in the envelope, now that they will present to them for make them go Kergona each of the mosques then.
Eid al-Adha is sometimes called the bigger Eid. This is because it involves the Udaya, the animal sacrifice. Eid al-Adha also has a close connection with the yearly Hajj. For SLBC News, Mariam Asuma reporting. Food seems to be the most sought after commodity in the markets. This is more so in times of public holidays like the Eid al-Adha, when many families normally find the opportunity to gather and enjoy their time together at home. Well, our reporter Aminata Fofana joined some Eid shoppers at the Congo town markets, Kuta Road, and reports.
I'm currently standing here at Congo Market, one of the frequent visited markets here in Freetown, where people usually come to buy their commodities. On a random day from the background, you will notice that the market is empty. But tomorrow is one of the biggest holidays for the Muslims, as they'll be having their Eid al-Adha. We are currently here to ascertain how people are visiting the market.
Eid al-Adha is celebrated once every year and is considered to be the biggest holiday by Muslims. Food is a key aspect of the Eid al-Adha festival, as Muslims would normally prepare a huge portion and varieties of foodstuff to share with friends and families. And this is clearly evident here at the Congo market. Shoppers are ever present to buy foodstuff, but the turnout seems low this time around.
In previous Muslim holidays like this, the markets used to be crowded with consumers, both Muslims and non-Muslims, rushing helter-skelter to buy commodities. But now some of us limit our purchase due to the continuous price increase of commodities. As at present, things are hard. Traders usually increase the prices of their commodities, especially during popular holidays like this. That is why only few people are coming to buy.
For traders, it was observed that they used to receive hundreds of customers and record thousands of sales during this period. But for this year's Eid festival, things took a different turn at the market for them.
Business is difficult. We are expecting high sales since the Eid is just around the corner, and in such occasion, Muslims will come in huge numbers to buy commodities, but few customers have come so far.
On this 7 o'clock,
Last year's Eid al-Adha was better compared to this one. Business is stiff Even when meat used to be the mostly purchased commodity for Muslims at this time, I have sold just few pounds.
However, traders are anticipating for more sales. SLBC News, Aminata Fofana.
Still on Eid al-Adha celebration and food, our reporter Esther Sako visited the Dovecote Market, a place known as the most host for cheap commodities in the country, and our report.
Presently at Egan Street, commonly known as Dovecote Market, it is a place where people come to buy different foodstuffs. As we all know, Muslims around the world will be celebrating the Eid al-Adha celebration tomorrow. I am here to assess the momentum so far, as we are few hours away from the celebration. Join me as we find out.
While assessing the market, one could see that it is crowded with people to buy different commodities to celebrate the feast of Eid al-Adha. Even though the goods are available, yet buyers complain about the hike in prices.
Prices have increased exponentially. Some say it is due to petrol pump price and transportation cost. Rice, groundnuts, fish, everything is now expensive, especially since the holiday is here. Things are not easy for us now. Previously, when we come to the market, we purchase lots of items, especially here at Dovecote. But now we get few items no matter how much you bring to the market.
Items are so expensive. Prices were stable before now, but now they are way up. The traders often increase prices during times like this.
In other times, according to the traders, they would have sold all their goods. But even though the market is congested, yet there is low sales in this year's Eid al-Adha celebration.
I came from Waterloo to sell since morning, but sales is bad. People hardly buy due to the increase in price. Those we purchase from increase their prices when they sell to us. That is why we also increase our prices for customers so we can realize profit.
Other traders like Isatu expected to earn more this year, but yet they are still hoping for more sales. For SLBC News, Esther Sako reporting.
Eid al-Adha is one of the most important holidays for Muslims in Sierra Leone and indeed in other parts of the world. It is a time of increased sales. It is also a time some business people perceive as an opportunity to hike the prices of commodities. Ahead of this year's Eid al-Adha, our reporter Mohammed Kurma also went to find out about the realities in the markets.
Every year, the time of Eid al-Adha, which is commonly called Dunke Sali, usually triggers the increment of sales of commodities such as cotton materials and gowns. The holiday in Sierra Leone usually attracts a lot of attention as Muslims consider it one of the greatest. However, there is no doubt that this celebration, like the previous two, has come in the thick of the coronavirus. Sierra Leone has already recorded over 5,000 cases affecting all sectors, including business.
We don't put like this this curfew and this lockdown, things then we don't begin change small.
Before now, sales were much better, but for now, it is very difficult because of the COVID restrictions.
They can change to how the laws and then they put restriction to the laws then.
But not really easy. As soon as can see for
business is not easy for us. Yesterday, I only sold 60,000 leones, and I usually pay 48 million leones annually as rent. It's almost Eid al-Adha, and our hopes have been shattered because of the present situation.
The seeming appalling situation is also impeding the business of tailors who sell customers as scarce these days.
We did tell them. Anyway, for now, because we don't see different changes.
The situation at present is challenging for us. My shop is empty now, especially when marriages and other occasions have been restricted.
But from where they say pretty, either they not suspend the moxes then, so people then lose hope.
However, according to Mohamed Boijalo, a tailor who has been in the trade for over 20 years, business is okay for him. It could be recalled that 2020 Eid al-Fitr was performed at home. Thus, with the recent COVID Delta variant, it is possible that this year's Eid al-Adha will also be performed at home. SLBC News, Mohamed Kouma in Freetown.
Still on Eid, animal sacrifice is an integral part of Eid al-Adha as it demonstrates the willingness of Prophet Ibrahim to sacrifice his only son in adherence to God or Allah's command. However, his son was replaced with a lamb before he could carry out the sacrifice. This year's Eid al-Adha, however, presents some serious challenges for Muslims performing the ritual because of the unthinkable prices of animals. Our reporter Aminata Fofana visited Kawyad, a spot for the sale of all types of animals in Freetown.
Upon visiting Kawyad in eastern Freetown, it is evident that customers are on their regular shopping, and this does not seem to be shopping for the Eid al-Adha. It could be recalled that when there was nothing like coronavirus, these are times when Muslims are preparing for the Eid al-Adha, an occasion to honor the willingness of Ibrahim to sacrifice his son Ishmael as an act of obedience to God's command. Before Ibrahim could sacrifice his son, however, Allah provided a lamb to sacrifice instead. Specific animals like cows, goats, sheep, and other animals are usually on high demand at this time. So Muslims hardly celebrate Eid al-Adha without slaughtering an animal to honor the tradition. From the look of things at the market for this year's Eid al-Adha celebration, the purchase of such animals is unusual, as meat sellers complained of low sales. And this, according to the chairman of the National Butchers Union, Ali Bari, was as a result of the closure of mosque ahead of the Eid al-Adha, since the observation would be held at homes instead.
Now, there is low sales at the market since COVID, but the closure of the mosque ahead of Eid al-Adha this year is the reason for the present low sales. Last year, when the mosques were opened, we had plenty sales, but we know that government is doing this to fight COVID-19.
But we tell Allah thank you, we tell the Excellency the President thank you.
The chairman maintained that since the celebration was still weeks away, some customers would rather wait on last minute to the celebration before visiting the markets to buy animals. A meat seller, Mohamed So, said the low turnout of customers was also due to high prices, which customers complained of. However, Mr. So said this was not their fault, because they also buy the animals at high prices from their rearers.
The increase in price is also affecting us. Those who bring the cows increase their prices when they sell to us. That is why we also increase our prices for consumers so we can realize profit.
Though the market was less congested, the use of face mask by many seem impossible. Buyers and sellers are walking with no face mask on. SLBC News, Aminata Fofana.
This is news coming to you live from the SLBC TV in Freetown. Still to come on the news, to gauge the decline of roads in two areas in the capital city, our reporter hits the road. The Minister of Energy, Alhaji Kanja Sise, informs Kondemaya town residents in Jang Chiefdom, Kwayadugu district, that government is committed to constructing a brand new 143 megawatts Bumbuna second hydroelectric power plant dam in the Richard Bridge. Well, these and many more are coming up shortly, just after the break. Welcome back. This is News Hour live from the SLBC TV. Sierra Leone has 11.3 thousand kilometers of roads. Of these, only 904 kilometers are paved. However, most paved roads you will find in the country are either terribly cracked or is filled with potholes. To gauge the decline of roads in two areas in the capital city, our reporter Julian Kuruma was on the road.
Aside from the Probe Road, the main road that links the eastern area to the center of Freetown is the Kissy Road. But as you are likely seeing, the rains have done some damages to the state of the road. In normal circumstances, the quick inspection of the SLRA is expected to put up safety protocols for drivers as well as pedestrians.
Potholes and cracks in the road are a common sight if you're driving along the streets. There are no road safety indicators. Cars and tricycles usually plunge into these potholes and get stuck.
It is really sad for us drivers. Sometimes at night our tricycles get stuck in these potholes. We have to wait till morning to remove them. Then we have to take them to the garage for repairs.
Among the objectives of the Sierra Leone Road Safety Authority is to ensure that safety protocols are visibly recognized by drivers to ensure safety of the vehicles. Keifa Jawad, who is Sierra Leone's Roads Authority communications person, said the contractors will soon commence maintenance on the roads.
It's normally expected that during the rains, we expect some of these things to happen. But normally, maintenance are planned activities. So we have got our contractors who have been doing this. And even apart from the road in question now, if you can remember, or you are going around the streets of Freetown, we had already started the patching of roads. So we have targeted over 40 roads, major roads across Freetown, including the Kissy Road, the Fuabe Road, and other major parts of Freetown that we have started patching.
Routes such as Dillet and Ferguson streets are roads that need immediate maintenance. Till the work of the SLRA commences, vehicles and tricycles that ply these roads are left forlorn. SLBC News Hour, Julian Koroma.
The Minister of Energy, Alhaji Kanjasi Singh, has informed Konde Mayata residents in Jangchiefdom, Penadugu district that government and its development partners are committed to constructing a brand new 143 megawatts per second hydroelectric power plant dam in the northern region. The power plant dam, when completed, will add 55 megawatts to the existing 50 megawatts at Bumbuna First hydroelectric power plant dam that will complement reliable, affordable electricity for all in the country. William Wise now reports.
The 143 megawatts Bumbuna Phase 2 hydroelectric power plant dam comprises of three main elements. Shutters the extension to the existing Bumbuna 1 facility that will add 84 megawatts of the new generation, a new 32-kilometer upspring plant at Yiben that will add also 55 megawatts of the new generation, and a storage of reservoir that will enable the yearly round power production, a 4 megawatts environment at the foot of the existing Bumbuna 1. With short and credible blueprints of the project, it becomes obvious that after completion of the project, they will address the problem faced by Bumbuna 1 in the area of power generation.
The aim of the project is to increase energy generation capacity and decrease dependency from fuel imports for electric power generation.
The project is a public-private partnership between the governments of Sierra Leone and Joule Africa, which, according to the Energy Minister, Alhaji Kanjasi says, is promised by President Bill to provide electricity nationwide, irrespective of region or political background. The Energy Minister said financial agreements are ongoing between the government of Sierra Leone and Joule Africa for the commissioning of the project. At the side dam in Yiben, geotechnical drilling is on the way to provide vital information to finalize the design of the dam site, as recommended by engineers, to which community people are hopeful to gain massive employment. Mohamed Kouma, resettlement planning manager at Seli Hydropower, said for effective water management storage at the site dam, they had engaged the community for a possible location to avoid potential deforestation and farming activities around the dam site that might lead to low power outputs. The project is over 700 million United States dollar, and it appears that after completion in years to come, the hydroelectric power plant dam will help Sierra Leone goal to provide electricity access to 30% of the household in the country by 2030. SLBC News in Freetown. William Wise reporting.
This is news coming to you live from the SLBC TV in Freetown. It's now time for entertainment stories.
Hello and welcome to Entertainment News with me, Cynthia Kamal. Popular rapper Alhaji Bakari Aba, aka LAG, was alleged to have been involved in robbery over the weekend, and that has resulted to his arrest and detention. Following social media posts of the incident, many citizens have taken to social media to commend the manner the rapper was arrested by police officers. The ambassador of Sierra Leone's entertainment, Amara Dennis Toure, has responded to the incident on his Facebook page, citing that the entertainment board was still seeking to find out details of the unprecedented incident, adding that his members will consult authorities involved to salvage the issue. And now for some international news. Popular Nollywood actress Katie Henshaw has celebrated her 50th birthday looking all fabulous and sexy. Her first appearance in a major Nollywood movie was in 1993. Katie Henshaw auditioned for the lead role in the movie When the Sun Sets, and she was chosen for the role. Katie Henshaw has starred in over 45 Nollywood movies. She is blessed with one daughter. Well, that's the latest news and entertainment with me, Cynthia Kamal. Goodbye.
Well, that's all from my entertainment desk. Up next is sports.
From Rio to Tokyo, athlete organizers, movers and shakers in athletics are moving back and forth to get things up and running. Well, I tell you, without further ado, the athletes are in high spirits. For our very own Sierra Leonean, Maggie Barry, she remains hopeful to deliver a successful game at the end of the day. Well, we switch over to football. Now, players are making different moves in terms of preseason matches. But I tell you, Sierra Leonean players, they've been absolutely impressive. They've been on the score sheets, they've been on the scorecard, they've been on so many platforms to name but few. SLBC Sport Desk looks at the performances of Sierra Leonean players. George Davis was featured for 90 minutes in SNK St. Polten 5-0 win over FC Alturich in Austria. Amadou Bakayoko played for Bolton as they shared the spoils against Manchester United in a 1-1 draw. Genoa's newest signing, Yakalon, was involved for 45 minutes as his side registered a comfortable 5-0 win over Valstubal in Austria. Brilliant forward Christian Moses scored his first Super Eton goal in IFK Vanamo 2-0 delightful win over Ostia. Issa Kalon and Alex Bangura were involved in SC Campbell's 1-0 triumph over RWB Moldek. Idris Kanu enjoyed 47 minutes of action in Peterborough United 6-1 defeat to Chelsea. Alusain Kouma was on the score sheet for his side Balopodemic, while his twin brother Alassane Kouma provided an assist in a 4-2 win against Bournemouth. Tokyo Games will miss one of its brightest talent, Usain Bolt. But in the lead up to the game, he has sent a message to other athletes for them to remain hopeful and courageous that the game will be very much peaceful and it will end happily at the end of the day.
Usain Bolt's record at 19.19 seconds.
Well, without much ado, sponsor of this on News Hour, Hensia, I am Abdul Kabir. Thank you so much for your time. It's goodbye for now.
Well, that's all from sports. And from there, we draw down the curtains of tonight's edition of the news program. Before we go, a quick recap of the main point. NACOVAX says a decision was made not to administer the remaining doses of vaccines beyond their expiration date, while a new consignment is on the way. Two young Sierra Leoneans, Eric Mbayo and Deborah Suse from Kono District, are participating in the United Nations International Youth Diplomacy Conference 2021 held in Accra, Ghana, and members of the Waste Collection Association have called on residents in Freetown to desist from indiscriminately throwing garbage into drainages. Thank you for watching, and do continue to stay with the public broadcaster, and happy Idul Adha to you all in and out of Sierra Leone from the management staff of the SLBC. Good night.